Hello there and welcome to another video. Red bikes and abandoned bikes in my neighborhood bring me to the question, trash or treasure? Vintage mountain bike madness. So here you can see the original invoice from 1990 for my Panasonic 26-inch mountain bike, and it was 1116 Deutsche Mark in total in 1919. I got it for 80 euros recently, and I've made some, in my opinion, essential changes so far. So here's a little overview of this bicycle you might have seen in my previous video. These are, I think, the original tires by Panasonic, made in Japan. And I've made some changes so far, such as fenders, different stem and handlebar, a different saddle, and I removed some things, such as the original fenders or the little Panasonic triangle frame bag. Here you can see the ancient way of having light on the bicycle, but it still works actually fine, although the light is like a candle in front of the bicycle. Plastic Shimano 300 LX from the plastic era, similar to the pedals, which have to be changed soon, but they spin surprisingly well. Plastic brakes with plastic-like brake pads, but they brake okayish. And I know this way of mounting the fender is terrible. I will change it soon. Of course, I added some Fahrer Latz again to protect my shoes. And I added this cantilever hanger to have the front brake independent of the stem. I added some ergon grips, the fat version, really nice for big hands. And it's so nice that you can replace them because you just can unscrew them. I wouldn't want any permanent grips here. I have to add with alcohol and can't remove anymore. And my 40 euros Brooks B17, really nice. I'm really happy about this purchase. These chainstays are not dented from the factory, but still allow some clearance. Let's see what tires we can put in there in the future. So let's go for a little ride. And I don't want to describe my ride so much today. I rather want to do a bit of bicycle philosophy today. So recently I've started to be interested in vintage mountain bike builds. I've always been a bit interested in this kind of bikes, and I really like their lugged, or maybe also not lugged, but nice looking flashy steel frames. I never liked 26-inch wheels so much because I'm rather tall, and with my body size you tend to use 29, 28 or maybe 27.5-inch wheels, and 26 looks rather small. But I've always liked the agility of old mountain bikes with these smaller tires. They feel so agile and I don't know, they steer well, I feel like. So there was always something also fascinating me about these tires. So recently I saw this exact mountain bike here, the exact same frame on eBay Kleinanzeigen built up by a guy in Munich. He had the 61 centimeter version, the biggest version of this model here, in this exact same paint, Panasonic MC-3500, and I checked his bike out. But he had such fancy parts on it, and also wanted the price for them, so this was not the bike for me, although I liked it so much. And then, coincidentally, by the way, here I lost my way, it was very slippery. Coincidentally, I found the same frame and model, but this 56 centimeter version, so the one size smaller, on Kleinanzeigen for 80 euros. Actually, it was 50, but the owner negotiated with me. Long story short, he actually wanted a bit more, and I was happy with paying 80 for it, because everything was working on this bike. Tires, super alright, lights are working, no problem with shifting, no problem with anything. So I bought this bike. I immediately changed the steel handlebar, which was super heavy and just straight. I replaced it with these bars I got from the bicycle self-repair shop in Munich. Unfortunately, I later found out they're a bit bent, but it doesn't bother me for the moment. I also added another stem and saddle, as I mentioned before, and these fenders I had lying around from my old Rotor Amundsen, which has been converted to the Surly Bridge Club last year. Yeah, and now I'm working on this bike and making plans what further changes to make. So, as you can see here, I need a little break from thinking about vintage mountain bike builds and also from being inside and doing some exercise at my favorite spot near the Brudermühlbrücke or Brudermühl Bridge in the park. So I've watched a lot of YouTube videos about 26-inch builds where people fix them, add new parts, maybe even convert them to drop bars or 650B tires, or just clean everything and reassemble them nicely. And I have one problem with these videos. They always make it seem maybe not easy, but very doable and enjoyable. And I can tell you now, it's not only doable and enjoyable. There's so much to learn, so many obstacles, so many parts and tools you're going to need if you want to change something. So many things to keep in mind. So that's why I called this video Vintage Mountain Bike Madness. There's some madness to it because it's really a big mission if you want to do all this. Even now I've already spent way more money on this bike than I originally spent for the whole bike. Just the new saddle, the new stem, and the new grips were the same money as the whole bike. And I also bought some tools to change the old stem, to unscrew the headset. So there's so many things, and I can tell you a 26-inch mountain bike build, as any bike build, is not easy, is not trivial. It might seem to you as if it is, if you watch some videos on YouTube, but it isn't. So, would I recommend you to not do something like this? Well, certainly not, because there's so much to learn, and it's a nice experience. So I've learned with working on this bike again, I've learned so much more about bicycles. But my point is just to tell you, it's not all fun and games. There's also cost and mistakes and frustration involved. Yeah, and I think that's something we don't talk about so much in all these videos about vintage builds in all these nice Instagram posts, and I just wanted to mention it here because I've experienced it firsthand. So this bike is far from complete. It's just an intermediate feeling of mine, and as I'm getting towards the end of my little tour here at the Giesinger Church, I want to show you my ideas for this build. So what I've changed so far is just stage 1 of this build, and I want to change way more things. And I want to show you the parts I already have, and also show you what other parts I might get in the future. So let's head home now and first make a coffee. Okay, let's start. We have our coffee ready and let's dive into the parts. First of all, brake levers. The terrible plastic brake levers have to be replaced, and I bought these nice silver aluminum Shimano brake levers. These are non-group set and they are universal for V and cantilever brakes. Speaking of which, I bought some Dior XT cantilever brakes used with some almost new Cool Stop brake pads, and I think these will be so powerful in comparison to these old plastic brakes, which also feel like I'm braking with plastic on the rims. They do their job, but I don't know, they have to be changed. Also got some more cantilever hangers, or what they are called, because I feel like the original ones might be too short, and these are so hard to get. It's crazy. Got the last one of the models. Got also new shifters. The shifters work fine somehow, but I feel like you always fight with them a bit. It's so hard to press them. So I got these sunrays shifters. Left side is friction and right side is indexed. And yeah, sorry, friction hipsters, I actually got indexed shifting for the right side. I think the right side, friction is discontinued by Sunrays. I'm very curious about how they will work. Yeah, this one you already know, my 1.5 rear derailleur I bought for 19 euros on eBay Kleinanzeigen. I just thought it looked so amazing, and I just had to buy it. Let's see whether I will already replace the 300EX plastics rear derailleur or will wait until I have a new rear wheel and cassette. Then the Busch & Müller Luxus U, which is something like the predecessor of the Sonladelux in my opinion. It also has a charging function, just as the Ladelux, and a high beam, and it's already I think 10 years or more old. I got it for 40 euros and it still works. I've already tested it, so it was also used, and it's crazy how many features this light has. It's packed with features, and I think this also is the reason why it has it sometimes fails. It has a reputation to fail in some regards. Let's see. I just wanted to try it out. Alright, and now let's look into my further notes. So I got the hanger, I got a new stem, I got the trash bars for nothing, for free. I got some alternative ideas for the stem, but Nito stems are really expensive and very hard to get in Germany. They're often sold out. Yeah, again, I might use an Ergotech bar, I think for 20 euros, to replace my bent bars. I also want to get a Tubos rear rack. So I saw the Tubos logo in stainless steel for 80 euros used, but I'm not sure if this bike is worth such an expensive rack. Yeah, let's see. That's why I mark it red. It's actually too expensive. The new Tubos would cost 110 euros. Then I have to get maybe new fenders. I used my old ones, but I think they're fine for now. Yeah, maybe I get one. I got these grips already. I have to get a new seat post in silver. I want silver colors, and it's a 26 millimeter seat post, very rare. I got the Brooks already for 40 euros. With silver rails, really nice. I think the new ones sold today have black rails. I want MKS pretzel pedals, or maybe MKS always pedals, because I think they have better bearings, they spin better. I think they cost from 55 euros online. I definitely have to replace these terrible plastic pedals at one point. And I got Maxxis DTH tires, 26 by 2.3 for crazy low price in my opinion, but they came in an awful condition. They were like just thrown into a box. They were not rolled up. They looked terrible inside the box. It's really bad by the store where I bought them. Yeah, and I might get the René Hers Red Trap Pass, but damn are they expensive. 100 euros for one. Okay, now the next stage of my bike I want to do soon is new shifting and braking. So I want to install these shifters I've just shown you. They were 40 euros and I'm curious to see how they will work. I want to install these XT Canti brakes I've just shown you with the cool stop pads. Let's see how much better they will stop than the original plastic pads. Of course, these nice silver aluminium brake levers, and I have also cables lying around already. Cassette, I don't know so far. I will keep the one that is installed for now, I think. Also the front shifter, I will keep it for now. Then the rear derailleur, I will also maybe keep the one I have or install the Nehave. And for the crankset, I want one of the M730 by Shimano. That would be so nice, but they're really expensive when I see them online and almost always severely scratched, so I'm not sure. Then the next stage of the build would be new wheels. We have a Son 28 dynamo hub as a thought of mine, but of course this would be crazy. But I think the Son 28 in silver polished without disc brake compatibility, it looks so awesome. The alternative would be a Shimano dynamo hub, I think on XT level, but this option would also have a different rim, which is a bit narrower than the Ride 421. So I don't know if it would be so good for wider tires, but it would be so much more affordable. Same for the rear wheel. Custom built wheel would be okayish, would be 150 euros roughly. And I think this rim would have 21 millimeters of inner width, which would be not that narrow. And again, the wheel I found online, in the very limited selection you find there, would have a different rim, and I'm also not so sure about the quality of this rear hub. Then tires, I thought about getting Pana Racer Gravel King. 26-inch version is only available at Blue Luck. It's not available in Germany, so I would have to pay tax and shipping. Also maybe Simworks Super Yummy. They're also sold out in Germany. I would also have to get them at Blue Luck. I'm thinking about an order at Blue Luck anyways, but shipping and customs would be so expensive. Yeah, front light for the dynamo hub would be this crazy Busch & Müller Luxus U. Rear light, I don't know so far, and these other things, I'm also not sure so far. So many parts to consider, it's crazy, isn't it? That's why I said MTB madness. There's so much to consider. Yeah, so also for the next stage, this is like everything next to my stages, I would say. Tools and other stuff like bottom bracket or headset. I think the headset is fine. Also the bottom bracket seems fine to me, but maybe they need to be changed soon. So please, let me enlarge this. So I already had to get some adjustable wrench. Then I'm thinking about getting some service at Gutenbiken of parts I don't want to service myself. And then these tools to remove a cassette, to shorten cables and housings, they are also needed at some point, and they cost money as well. And I also want to buy good quality because I've had the experience multiple times before. You buy bad quality and tools, you buy them twice. They won't last you long, and it's always a pain. So it costs a lot of money. Okay, now talking about money, and sorry here, let me quickly change the translations to English. I started with German here. Stage R. I'm thinking about converting this bike to a drop bar mountain bike, because with a top tube length of 58 centimeters, I think this might be an ideal geometry for me to go with a drop bar. I'm thinking about a crust towel rack bar, but it is crazy expensive. I mean, it costs 142 euros itself, which is crazy. Thinking about it's not even a Nido bar. I mean, nothing against made in Taiwan, but this is really expensive in my opinion. And then I have to pay customs and shipping, so I would be at like 250 euros for this handlebar. So, nope. So I'm thinking about getting the Rune hilt bar in the widest width. Maybe this would be really cool. Then again, stems are a pain in Germany, hard to get, especially 26 millimeters. Shifters, I might think about the silver bar end shifters. I can get them in Germany, but they're not too cheap, unfortunately. Bar tape, yeah, let's see. Nice brake levers, TRP or these Diacomp, which are a bit more affordable and also look good. Yeah, and then pedals again. Yeah, let's see. But as you can see already with the prices, I would spend multiple hundreds of euros for this bike, where the initial bike had only cost me 80 euros. So that's why I call it MTB madness. So many things, so many considerations, so many costs in the end. Is it a trash or treasure bike? Slipping again here, I would say it's both, and it depends on what you see in it. Thank you and bye bye.